Well, Sudsers, we are here. I am excited. This is the start of a themed project that I have been working on with the soap and clay kidlets to capture our favorite game ever to play together. And I'm pumped for this. I am also super pumped to be sharing with you the new fragrance company that we are going to be doing a whole bunch of blind tests on through this theme. And I'm going to tell you more about both of those things in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 103 of 365 days of soap, year 2, and we are starting the Animal Crossing theme today. And we will be blind testing a whole bunch of scents from Midwest Fragrance Company. Now, to my knowledge, they are a newer fragrance company in the game, and so awesome. And we are starting out with a blueberry of some sorts, so we can make Filbert, who is a squirrel, and he's blue, hence the blueberry. Now, because of the vanillin notes in this particular scent, I expected that it was going to discolor, so I'm kind of cheating right off the bat in that I'm mixing 1 part of this with 4 parts of a different blueberry from another company who I know will not discolor, because they have not done in the past. So let's get to the video, because this one's actually pretty wild, pretty crazy, lots of Soap and Clay Kidlet #1's involvement in all of this, and it ends up being pretty long. So let's go check out all the things, now. There is so much going on here, guys. Hi. Look at the beautiful Mad Micas, the full Monty, spread out in just all of its glorious form here. And we're doing Animal Crossing. And we're going to start with Filbert. And Filbert is cool. He's adorable. He's a squirrel. A squirrel, right? And it's going to involve a lot of embeds. Now, in addition to doing Animal Crossing and the pretty, Mad Micah's full Monty color selections for this, which I think we're just going to stick with until I get bored with it, because I like it. Like, we don't really use the stuff from the bags because we have the whole ass Mad Micas in like big jars. But this is pretty, isn't it? I think this is fun. I enjoy this. Also, the finger thing that I'm doing right there, yeah, so I should have left the audio in for this, because I was doing this, but the kiddos were playing Animal Crossing while I was doing this, and my fingers were showing the music in the background, which I thought was very delightful. So these are the colors that we're going to use for Filbert, the squirrel. All of the things. Yes, I love this. I don't know. I'm still doing the dancing thing. Cool. And we're going to select some blacks. As far as I'm concerned, black is black, whatever. But here's another thing with all of this. We are working with Midwest Fragrance Company for this line. And you see the vanillin content on this. It's 8.15%, my friends, which means it's going to discolor. And I, being me, had to use blueberry for filbert because filbert loves blueberries. And so what I ended up doing with this one was a little bit of a cheat. I mixed it with a blueberry from Nature's Garden that does not discolor because I want filbert to be blue. Okay. And with this, I am making the embeds for his eyeballs because he needs some eyeballs. And yeah, the Midwest Fragrance Company. So first things first for Midwest, their scents are so potent. This particular scent, it came in and the USPS guy dropped it off. By the way, incredibly quick shipping, which was very cool. Totally here for that. But the USPS guy dropped it off. And Mr. Soap and Clay was actually at the house. And I'm excited. And so I open up the box. And I pull out this one. It actually happened to be the first one that I pulled out. And I didn't even open the lid of this scent before Mr. Soap and Clay said, well, that smells like blueberry waffles, doesn't it? I hadn't even taken the lid off. These scents are potent AF. Like, it is amazing. So right out of bottle, I'm super duper excited about all of these scents. Like, they are so strong, like to the point where I'm getting a headache from them. And that's not a bad, I mean, obviously getting a headache is a bad thing, but that's exciting for using them in soap because it's like, well, that means I get to use less for my soap, right? We're doing some emulsion checks here, by the way, with all the things. You've been here before. We've done multiple whole ass videos on emulsion and all of that. So, there. And the kaolin clay goes into the entire batch, dispersed in water. My water solution is about at like 2.4 times the lye. So kind of a lot of water. But when you're working with clays, that's a good thing. You want the water solution to be more than the lye by a pretty significant amount because the clay is sucking up so much of that water, right? And so you want to make sure that your batter will stay nice and fluid. For this particular design, I don't really need the batter to stay nice and fluid because look at all those embeds. I am doing a crap ton of embeds in this. We've got ones for his eyes, for his little V on his head, for his nose, for his cheeks, and we're working in a column mold. Now, I mentioned that the soap and clay kidlets were playing Animal Crossing while I was making this for a reason. I love Animal Crossing. Oh, look, we have fingers. And so do they. And so this is one of the things that I get to actually connect with the soap and clay kidlets on is Animal Crossing. And so soap and clay kidlet number 1 designed this particular soap. I drew it out and did the things or whatever, but she wanted to do filbert and she wanted to do it in a column. And so we made it so. And so I need her help with this, right? Because I'm going to pour some, look at that. That's why I need her help. So she's there, all gloved up, ready to assist for all of this because I want her to hold different pieces in place while I kind of pour around them in this column because we have a lot of embeds with this. And it could be a disaster. Like, we don't know. And also, using this whatever gray blue I selected from Mad Micah's, you saw it. You saw the thing. You know what it is. It's not quite blue enough. And so I put some more blue in it. Like, I just put more of it. I am really stingy with micas just across the board. And so I put more blue. But also, interestingly, put more blue but also put the scent in. Now, granted, this is not Midwest Fragrance's fault necessarily, right? Like, first time ever working with them, I have no idea, but we got some ricing going on, which is interesting. Just a little bit though, it's no big deal. But also the blue turned green. But here's the thing, I mixed this scent with another scent from Nature's Garden. And also, this was not working. There was not a good seal. So on the fly, we had to change our design plans like right away. Okay, now on to the real pour. On the fly, we had to change our complete focus. And so I pulled the embed out that I already had in there, cut it down to fit into this, and we're pouring a different way. So instead of using a column, we are using a tray, and we are pouring in a way that we did not plan. Granted, the green is real weird, but also I mixed it with somebody else's scent. So this could mean any number of things. So we're not going to hold that against Midwest, because again, I blended it with something else. But it took probably, I don't know, 7 minutes to pull everything out, to clean it up, to cut everything down, to get it ready for this pour. And that batter is still so fluid. It's delightful. This is great. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too fluid, so Soap and Clay Kidlet number 1 is having to hold things in place while I kind of pour around. But also, that was the plan for the column mold anyway, so she was already prepped for that. But this was her design. She had an idea, and she wanted to do it in a column, and it didn't work out. And so instead of just, losing our minds or scrapping the entire batch, we adjusted on the fly. And so this is what you're, working with. Weirdly, there's a lot of, this is the patience of Soap and Clay Kidlet number 1 that I guess I'm showing you right now and did not cut out, because there's a lot of her just holding this. She's being great. This is amazing. While I was cutting some eyeballs, really. And so, it's an interesting lesson in soap design, I guess, across the board, because there are so many plans that you have. You just saw the thing that I had drawn out for this, right? Like, this is what we are going to do. And it didn't work out exactly as we wanted. And so we had to adjust and modify after soap batter had already reached emulsification. It's already an emulsion. It is ready to go. I could throw up my hands and say, damn this batch and damn this wasted day. That's a Garth Brooks reference, because I'm like a super liberal person, but I love me some country music. Anyway, but I didn't do that. I talked to Soap and Clay Kidlet number 1, what should we do? And then we did so. And so both of us used our problem-solving skills to ensure that we ended up with, a batch of soap that made sense. That said, this soap batter is still green as shit. Now, granted, there are a ton of micas, like, in the world that do weird things with lye-heavy soap batter, because that's what all soap batter is right now at this exact stage. It's lye-heavy. It's not saponified. But then they mellow out and they do their thing and go to the color they're supposed to go to. And Mad Micas is actually really great with that, in that they don't really sell any micas that don't actually basically reasonably look like the way that they're supposed to look, like when you see them in their dry form, in their finished form, which is great. Like, Brambleberry, for example, I mean, I'm always shitting on Brambleberry, right? But I don't mean to. But Brambleberry has a ton of micas that look great in dry form. But if you don't pay attention to how they soap, well, you should pay attention to how they soap. Because if you don't, you're going to end up with a bar that you thought was going to go blue and it just stays green forever. Or it goes white. Like, why even do you sell those for soap? Don't mark those as like soap friendly. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not shitting on Brambleberry. I love Brambleberry. Point is, Mad Micas, they're usually very consistent with the color. And I am not blaming Midwest Fragrance for this, because I mixed their scent that discolors because of the vanillin content with another blueberry from Nature's Garden that does not discolor. Granted, I don't remember this scent from Nature's Garden ever going green, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. And it may still go blue. We don't know. We're going to find out with all of this, is the point. But look how cute these guys are shaping up to be so far. Like, this is adorable. We cut everything down so it would fit within the tray. Would a column have been easier? Of course it would have been. But there wasn't a good seal on the bottom of the embed that we had made to go into the column. And so we had to switch things up on the fly. And look at that. Aren't those the cutest little smiles ever? Now, I am definitely going to C-pop and gel these guys because I really want those blues to come back, because I don't want a green filbert. He's not green. He's blue. All of this, I have had none opportunity to actually talk about Animal Crossing, which is wild. But yes, this will be C-popped and gelled, and I'm going to cross my fingers that these soaps go blue. Okay, and it is cut day, and that's our Franken soap with the extras kind of left over. But for the rest of it, what the actual shit happened? We've got weird discoloration here. Now, granted, I didn't tell you earlier, but for the scent that came from Midwest Fragrance, I only used that at 25% of the batch. And so I would be shocked if this discoloration was actually coming from that. I did not assume that would be the case. However, it seems to be so, which I find very wild. There's some definite interesting color changes going on. But, ultimately that's okay, because filbert is not the only squirrel that exists in Animal Crossing. We have a lot of them, right? Or, best case scenario, this could be filbert after he ate like something poisonous. Because your animals in Animal Crossing, and you in Animal Crossing, you get sick all the time. You get stung by wasps, you get bit by mosquitoes. It's a whole ass thing. And so it still works. And it's still adorable. And Soap and Clay Kidlet number 1 was like dejected throughout all of this. Like, this isn't what I wanted it to be. But as I'm carving things in and she's watching, because I'm like, just trust the process, baby. It'll be okay. She starts going, oh, that's really cute. That's super cute. That's absolutely filbert. Yeah, like, trust the process. You can fix most things in the soap world. And these soaps are soft enough that I can carve into them very nicely and give Filbert his little smile and his little eyebrows. But we're not done. We're not done. Because Soap and Clay Kidlet number 1 also spent a lot of time making little ears. And because I actually work with my soaps within about 12 hours after pouring them, they're soft enough that I can just sort of carve out a channel at the top and put some soap dough ears that the Soap and Clay Kidlet made into the little holes and just kind of seal it up around the hole itself. So as it continues to cure up, the soap from the first pour is going to seal quite nicely around the ears, and keep them in. And isn't that cute as shit? That is adorable. And so ultimately, Soap and Clay Kidlet number one's vision for this soap still completely worked. It's still a cute squirrel. Is it the right color? No. Is it going to continue to discolor through cure? Probably. Does it matter? No. It smells like blueberries. Filbert loves blueberries. It's very clearly an Animal Crossing soap, which is awesome. It has cute ears. Her design was ultimately realized. And it's unique. And that's amazing. Because, you can make a lavender soap 9 bajillion times in the world, but it basically looks like everybody else's lavender soap. Soap and Clay Kidlet number 1 designed Filbert for Animal Crossing, and it is really, really amazing. So I count that as a win across the board, and that is day 103. Yeah, so that's all really weird, isn't it? Like, our Filbert is not blue. He's very green. But that could work too, because you get sick on the island for different reasons. You can get bit by a mosquito, you can get stung by a wasp. I haven't actually eaten rotten fruit, but that might be a thing too. And so I think it totally works. And for this, Midwest Fragrance Company does not get a ding on this because I mixed 2 scents. One was not supposed to discolor. And what this did doesn't super suggest discoloration, but it doesn't matter. Soap and Clay Kidlet number 1 was a champ throughout all of this. She had a design in mind. She wanted to do it in a column. And when it wasn't working out, she was still willing to, offer suggestions and help out and hold things in place so we could achieve the ultimate design. And then her little ears for Filbert with the little, she did such a great job. And I'm so proud of her. Like, it's always fun getting to soap with the kidlets and, getting to spend time with them just in general. And so this was something that all 3 of us really love. And we play together on Animal Crossing every day on the same island doing the thing. And so getting to bring them into the making of the products has been amazing. Now, if you are interested in any of the Animal Crossing soaps, you can't get them until we're done with this series. And this series is going to be a big one. So they will be available at soapandclay.com in a few weeks. Honestly, this is a big one. But until then, there's other stuff on the website, so go check those out for sure. If you're interested in getting some awesome scents and trying out Midwest Fragrance Company, you can do so, and they gave us a coupon code. Isn't that cool? Like, I don't get paid for this. This is not a sponsorship, but they're giving you a discount just for giving them a chance and having watched their, fragrance in action through this thing. So you can use Soap and Clay 10 at checkout, and you can get 10% off of your next order with them, which is epic. I really do think that you should click that subscribe button though and see what the other 9 cents that I got from them end up doing. And, just be here with me and be a sudser. For those of you who are sudsers, hey, thank you for being here with me as a sudser. Hope you guys had fun. The Animal Crossing soaps are going to get wild, for sure. And I'm glad that you joined me for this one. I am out of here for today, but I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.